Welcome to Dragonfly Trading. Hope everybody's having a wonderful day. My name is Carrie and I'm a full-time Elliott Wave trader in the crypto and Forex markets. Today's video is going to be an update on ETH and Bitcoin. I did not make a video this Wednesday. There was just not a lot to say. I just would have been repeating myself. So we're going to talk about today what is going on here and what we can expect. Not a lot has changed, but there's a few things to talk about. If you are interested in learning Elliott Wave in my system, you can go to my website, which is in the description below, and join our Discord. We are open and we would love to have you. So with that said, let's begin. All right, so we're on Bitcoin on the daily time frame here. And we have the same exact counts left available to us. The two bullish counts is assuming that this is a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, and we've completed the fifth, or we have possibly one more hit to the high. And we'll talk about that when we get into this area here. If this is the count, the fifth is a little overextended and it will be even more extended if we get another hit to the high. If this is the count, invalidation is all the way down here because a wave 2 can come deep. And if this is the count and we're getting a wave 2, we're looking at it taking about the same amount of time that the one took to take. So we could come all the way out here to create this wave 2. Okay? Keep that in mind, that this isn't going to be a fast 2 wave if this is the count. The other bullish count is this is all a wave 1. This is a wave 2. And we're in the middle of making a big wave 3 to the upside. And the reason I say that it's going to be a very big wave to the upside is because of how big this already is. When you get a 1, 2, 1, 2, you do not want your second 1 wave inside of your third to be bigger than your first 1 wave. It should be smaller. If we get another hit to the upside, we are going to be, let me pull this down. We are already the same exact size as this one. Right now, we even overshot it. That would be this 1-to-1 right here. If we go up another extension or even another extension with this wave, this is, I'm not going to be leaning that this is a 1 and a 2 and that inside of here we have another 1 and a 2 because it's just going to be too big, guys. Okay. If this is going to be a 1 wave, we need to make our 2 now. Or it's really going to be less likely that that is the count. But invalidation for this count would be breaking this low here. Because a 2 wave is not allowed to break the bottom of 1. So we really need to start. Don't look at that wick. That's a Kraken wick. We really need to go ahead, come on down here, make our 2, and find support on top of this 1. That's the way they do it. You get the initial 1, you get the 2. Then inside your third, you get a 1, and the 2, majority of the time, finds support right on top of the prior 1. This little correction in here being the wave 2 It's possible that it can be shallow like that, but we'll get down in here and look at the correction, and I don't think it's over. Okay? Those are the two bull counts. We have 3 corrections that are still available to us that we would see lower targets. We would assume that in the middle here, we're making an ABC. Now, where we pull the expanded B pocket from is a argument that can be made. Do we pull it from here down and assume that we made it an expanded flat here, and that would be the proper place to pull it? Or did we make an ending diagonal here and this is an ABC like this? The argument can be made for both sides. Which one it is, honestly, no Elliottician can say 100% that it's one or the other. But either way, this is a 3-wave move because we've broken the high. So the best thing to do for this situation is pull it both ways. From the top and from over here. Unfortunately, that's just the way it is. So with that said, we would come up, possibly another hit to the high, or it's done, but I don't think so. We're not coming down in a way that would lead me to believe that this is quite done. So if we're getting a C, I think we have another hit to the high. This is the pocket that we're talking about. The 1.236, the 1.382. Invalidation for the expanded B is for this C wave to hit the 1.618, even with a wick. Hits it with a wick, and no longer ABC on the table. We've got to stay out of that 1.618. What it would create is all of this would be an A, this would be a B, and we would come down for C as a running flat where we do not break the A wave, or it gets a little more bearish and we come down here and fill the gaps, and we create what's called an expanded flat where the C breaks the A. So we have a running flat available to us and an expanded flat. And the other correction is what we call a running triangle, where the B wave breaks the A wave, and then we come down for C, D, E in a contracting way. And you could draw your trend lines at that point, and you draw them from A to C to E and B to D. And then we would go up for our fifth. Triangle, running flat, expanded flat are the only corrections left for this. Okay, so I really dug into this leg on both ETH and Bitcoin, and we're going to talk about it. On the RSI, we're holding fifthly nicely on the daily. Is it going to roll over? Possibly. But if it does, we really want to see it hold 40. 40 would be bullish and would be a higher low, yes, than this hit to 30. So we would hit 40, and that would be a higher low, and we would kick up into the 90s. Okay? If that happened, and we came on down on top of this one, I would be seeing this as a 1-2-1-2. Especially if we held 40 for support. Okay. let's talk about this move to the upside. So I dug into it deeply. On Bitcoin, and let me get a little closer so you can see what I'm talking about here. Down here at the bottom on Bitcoin, we've got this 1, 2, 1, 2 look. Well, on Bitcoin, to be able to call this leg a 1 and this leg a 2, we can't do that because the low of this candle was 40,802 and the low of this candle was 40,772. So we broke the bottom here. So there is no way for me to call this a 1, 2 and a 1, 2 down here. I've got to put 1 here and I've got to put 2 here. Then when I dig through this count, we had an inner count of 1, 2, 3, 4 extended fifth for the third. We had a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for our higher degree third, fourth, and a fifth on up. This looks complete to me on Bitcoin. We don't look at this wick. This is a Kraken wick. And now we are correcting. Now the case can be made here. Is this a fourth wave that we're correcting? Because we are right on top of our prior third, and a higher degree fourth likes to come into the prior fourth. Or is this a wave 2? What exactly is going on here? If you pull a time on it, which is pulled from your 2 to your 3, we hit at this point the exact hit for a fourth wave. But so far this move up looks corrective to me. And really I think we would have moved much faster if we were going to get another hit for a fifth. But it's not completely out of the question yet. But this did a perfect hit for a fourth. Okay, so I'm going to jump over to ETH just to show you the difference down here. On ETH, at the bottom, we did not break the low. So to be able to call this a 1, 2, 1, 2, I'm able to do that down here. Which one is correct? I don't know. Maybe ETH is a 1, 2, 1, 2 and Bitcoin's not. Or ETH is not a 1, 2, 1, 2. But I can make it a 1, 2, 1, 2 down here. Okay. Let's go back over to Bitcoin. Okay, so far we have made a 3-wave move here. We have a move to the downside, we have an expanded flat, and then a move down. You can call it an ABC if you want to. It's not really that big a deal. Both of them are 3-wave moves. Arguing over whether this is a 5-wave at this point, it's irrelevant. What matters is what are we doing here? Okay? Because some people are going to want to say this is a 1 and this is a 2 and we're going. But let's really look at it. So first thing I want to point out is this move to the upside, we would naturally want to call this a wave 1. Okay, this was a flat and a downside move, and then we had this massive buy up. And you'd naturally want to call that a wave 1. But when you get down on a very low time frame and you take a look, this looks like a 3-wave move zigzag to me that hit a perfect 1-to-1. This looks like a three-wave move. Okay? Like a zigzag. So with that said, let's dig into this count. Trying to get the perfect, there we go. Okay. If this is a three-wave move, what we've done here is we've created another three-wave move in the middle here. Now, this is very complex in here, and it's getting even more complex in this area. Okay? What we have to the downside here is another three-wave move. So I'm trying to explain this the easiest way possible for those of you that don't understand Elliott Wave. It's basically, I feel we need a partner for this move still. We don't have it. If you pull a fib extension, it is possible, guys, it is possible that you could argue that this is the partner for it because I'm sorry, no. What I was meaning to say is we don't have the partner for it because we have not hit the 618 requirement. That 382 in there messed me up there for a second. We haven't hit the minimum requirement of 618. So to call this our partner for that one, we cannot do that yet. We still need this partner. So the question is, are we going to go higher before we get it? Or are we going to get it now? So let's dig into this little part right here so that we can figure out what's going on in there. Because we can easily turn this into a bigger three-wave move like this, and then we get the partner. Okay? This is so complex in here, it's ABCing us half to death. Not half to death, fully to death. Okay? So this can go many different ways right now because of all the ABCs it's making. But the big question is, are we taking off now, right? So let's look. And what I want to show you is, so we have this move to the upside. You would naturally want to call that a wave one, but you cannot because we broke the bottom. You would want to call this a 5-wave move, but it's not because we started off in 3 waves, which means that it's a corrective move. And it hit the 618, didn't give us a 5th. So this right here is not the start of something. It's an ABC. But, so we had this move to the upside. We needed a partner for it. When you pull a fib extension, this move hit a minimum requirement of 618. This can be our partner. So we have in the middle here W, X, Y. Okay? It's a connector. Now I'm going to try to make this as simple as I can. So we have this connector in the middle. But the question is connector going to go bigger? Because what we could easily do here is this three-wave move turns into an A. We make a B. And then we go up for C, and it extends this connector. Which means we still need this one over here. So the question is, are we going to get this pop to the upside, or are we getting this move now that belongs with this move? I can't say, guys. This is ABCing us to death. It's totally possible that we go up before we get this leg. Let's pan back out. I'm probably confusing you half to death here. So let's look at what our options are. So here's the leg that belongs here. Do we get it now? Or do we pop to the upside and get it later? Okay, and it belongs with this move. That would connect with this move when we finally get it. Okay, I know that's confusing, but that's the easiest way I can explain it. And what will happen is we're going to eventually, we get a bigger correction that finally completes itself. But in the meantime, it chops us half to death with ABCs. All right. So that's Bitcoin. Now, even if we come down here to support and we can hit the 1-to-1 here, we can come down to the 1.236. We can even come down to the 1.382 if it's going to be a WXY. The way this looks so far, unless we pop to the upside and break this high, it looks like it's going to be a Y wave. But if we extend this up higher and we break the high, and this Y ends up like this, then in the market has a chance to turn this into an ABC, which can come much deeper. Can come all the way down here. And that, to me, would create the 1-2-1-2 that we are looking for. Even the Y wave would, if it came down to this support. But if we pop up, break this high, we have a chance to create a C. If we don't break the high and we come down now, we're going to create a Y. Because this is a three-wave move. All right. Let's go on over to ETH. ETH has the same exact options to it. As far as what is the bull scenario? Well, the bull scenario is either 1, 2, 3, 4, which that was a deep 4, but it's still not invalid. And this is all a 5. And then we're going to come down for a wave 2. Okay. Or this was all a 1. This was all a 2. And we're making the 1 of the third, which it's getting big, guys. The 1 is getting big. I really would have liked to it have been just about that big. That's it. That would have been more believable. But this is getting big. And we don't really want it to get any bigger. Okay? If it keeps getting bigger, we have the expanded B option, where what we're actually creating here is a zigzag. We go up into that expanded B pocket. And then we have a 3, 3, 5. That could make a running flat, which would be a very bullish correction. Very bullish. Or we come down lower, fill the gap. I don't know or think that we would break this A, but it is possible that we break it and we come down into this support area. But, you know, this correction has to happen for this to even happen. Okay? But most likely we would create the really bullish one if this expanded B happens. And we also have triangle. B breaks the high. We get C, D, E. Okay. All right. So let's take a look at this on ETH. Now ETH has a little different look to it. Okay. I can make a 1, 2, 1, 2 down here, which would mean that we are in the third. This third hit a perfect 1.618. That's where a third should hit. This fifth hit a perfect 2.236, where a fifth should hit. This third overshot the 2.618, which is normal, okay, in ETH because it's usually very bullish. And here's where the whole thing gets kind of weird. And let's talk about it. Where's our fourth? Where's our fifth? And I don't even know where my fifth is, but it's here somewhere. Okay, the blue fifth is in Neverland somewhere, I guess. All right. We at first wanted to call this the fifth because it was a 5-wave move. Okay, perfect, whatever, but we did not come down and break this channel. And that's what would need to happen after a final fifth. We didn't do that. We created a 5-wave. We created a correction. And now we're on the move to the upside again. So there's a couple of options available to us right here. And I'm going to make it as less complicated as possible. And one might be invalid already. Let me get it right on the tickety tick there. Because it matters. We are just about ready to invalidate it. One more hit to the high and expanded B is invalidated. So what it would mean, if this is it, is that this 3-wave move here was an A. This 3-wave move was a B or an X. And this really looks like a Y. So the count would be WXY, not ABC. Okay, but this is a very bullish correction, and 4 would be here. But we need to complete this and not go any higher. So minimum requirement for this to be true would be hitting the 618. And we haven't quite done that yet. So we need to come down here to this channel line to complete this if this is the count. Come on down here to the channel, hit the 618, and then we can blast on up for our fifth. That's option 1. Option 2 is that the fourth was here, and I've got my channel off a little bit here. Got moved somehow. Option 2, fourth was here, and what's actually happening here, guys, is that we're about to create an overextended fifth. And I'm trying not to make this video long, but we're going to talk about an overextended fifth so you understand what they are. So an overextended fifth is a fifth that's gigantic. The rules of Elliott Wave is that the third can't be your shortest wave, but it doesn't mean that it has to be the longest. What happens is you get your 5-wave move that looks normal, hits all the normal fib extensions. And right in here, you get your final 5 waves for your fifth. And this is all going to make sense in a second here. You get your final 5 waves for the fifth, and you're expecting a hard rejection, and it doesn't happen. You actually come back in a very controlled manner with an ABC that finds support right on top of your third. And you're like, what's going on? Are we creating another fourth? There shouldn't be another fourth. I have everything complete here. Well, here's the magic. This is actually your wave 1 of your fifth. You get a 2 that finds support on top of the third and then blast off. Okay? And you get an overextended fifth. The targets for an overextended fifth is pulling from your 0 to the top of your fifth. I'm sorry. From your 0 point to 3 to 4. You're targeting the 1-to-1. And the next target is the 1.618. They get gigantic. It would break this channel. There's my fifth. Okay? So this, and you'd be able to see these waves in here. It would either stop at the 1-to-1 or the 1.618. That's how an extended fifth happens. Now let's talk about ETH. And is this possible? Well, if this is the fourth, we've got 5 waves. We've got a pullback. We have potentially almost a 5-wave move complete here. It's missing a fifth. So what it would be is this is not a 5th wave. It's the wave 1 of the fifth. And we're about to get a gigantic extended 5th wave. It's going to break this channel. And inside of here is the 1 of the third. But I don't think this correction is quite done yet. This can easily, find support on top of this 1. That's how it happens. Those are the 2 options that I see, guys. I just don't know what else could be happening here with ETH. One other one is that maybe this is not a 1-2-1-2. it just doesn't seem possible, but maybe this is a 1, a 2, and we're inside of the third, of the fifth. Meaning that this inside here is a 1, 2. We're not done with 3, 4, 5. And this is what it is. It's not a 1, 2, 1, 2, and we're going to get a gigantic extended fifth. We're just inside the third. But usually we get separation here. It's more pumpy, like these big candles. But it is possible that that's what it is. So there's actually 3 scenarios. So invalidation. Invalidation for this going to the upside is this low right here. Cannot break it. 41.25. On linear, on long, it's 41.25. But if we're going to continue up for a fifth wave or extended fifth wave, we can't break this low. This has to stay intact. We break the channel, and this correction, you can call it done. And we're coming to the downside. So I know there was a lot to talk about there, and it probably got a little confusing, but remember the invalidations, okay? If we're going to continue to the upside, we've got to hold this low. We don't want to break that. And looking at Bitcoin, if they're going to follow each other, it could be we get the little ABC here that gets us up higher. ETH gives us a fifth wave in here. Okay. ETH corrects. And then Bitcoin corrects and gives us this leg. So that's kind of an analogy of how you can put them both together, but I've been noticing that ETH will do its thing, just go on its way without Bitcoin now. They are moving in the same direction together, but they're kind of separating themselves now. ETH will pump without Bitcoin, and then Bitcoin will pump without ETH. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments, and especially if you have any questions. And those of you that watch this to the end, if you would put the word "I love Elliott Wave" in the comments. I would like to see how many people actually watch this to the end. All right? And I love each and every one of you, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend. And I'll see you in the next one.